If you want to understand why some people can lose everything and still rise again faster than others, listen carefully to this story. Years ago, in Las Vegas, Nevada, there was a well-known real estate investor who owned several apartment complexes and small hotels across the city. At his peak, his net worth was estimated to be around $50 million, and he was considered one of the rising players in the local property market. But the market does not always move in your favor. A sudden downturn in real estate, combined with several poorly timed investments, caused a chain reaction. Bank loans were called in, projects stalled, and properties were sold off to cover debts. Within a little over a year, the empire he had spent decades building collapsed. When he finally walked away from the worst of it, the man who once controlled tens of millions of dollars had almost nothing left, just a good suit, an old phone, and about $400 in his pocket. That evening he walked slowly along the Las Vegas Strip as the city lights began to glow and casinos and bars lit up the boulevard. At one point he stopped in front of a bar that seemed fairly busy. He walked in, ordered the cheapest bourbon on the menu, and sat quietly in a corner. He was not there to drink. He was there to observe. He watched how the staff served customers, how people ordered drinks, and how the place operated. The bar had customers, but the service was disorganized, some tables waited too long, and there was no real attraction keeping people there longer or encouraging them to return. With years of business experience behind him, he quickly realized that the place had strong potential but poor management. After about an hour he called the owner over and asked calmly, "If I wanted to buy this place, how much would you sell it for?" The owner glanced at the well-dressed man and replied, "Probably around $250,000. The investor paused for a moment and then said, "What if I offered you $280,000, but you let me run the place for 60 days before completing the purchase?" The confidence in his voice made the owner believe he was speaking with a serious businessman. After some discussion they reached a deal. The investor would place a $5,000 deposit to take over operations for 2 months. The interesting part was that at that moment he did not even have the full $5,000 yet, but he had something more valuable than money: he had a business mindset. The very next day he gathered the bar's managers and staff together and spoke directly to them. "I don't just want to run this place. I want to make it the busiest bar on this street. And if that happens, you won't just be employees, you'll share in the profits." Then he proposed a deal. Each manager could contribute $2,000 as a deposit to participate in a future profit-sharing program, and the money would be returned after 1 year. All 5 managers agreed, and in a single evening he had $10,000 to start operating. Next he leveraged the local connections of those managers. They created a private invitation group targeting customers known to spend money around the Las Vegas Strip, and he announced a major event: the 5-year anniversary celebration of the bar hosted by the new owner. The news spread quickly, and on the night of the event more than 300 people showed up. In the middle of the lively atmosphere he stood up and announced a special offer: anyone who prepaid $2,000 that night would receive $2,000 in drink credits, $3,000 in vouchers to use throughout the year, and VIP membership benefits at the bar. The offer was only valid for guests present that evening. Once people saw others signing up, crowd psychology took over. By the end of the night more than 120 customers had signed agreements, and he collected $240,000 in cash. Over the following weeks he hosted several similar events, and within just 2 months the total capital he had raised exceeded $2 million. He used that money to purchase the original bar, renovate and upgrade the space, and invest in 2 additional entertainment venues on the same street. Not long after, the man who had once gone bankrupt returned to the business world. He did not just repay his debts, he built an entirely new business empire. Many people later said he was lucky, but the truth is this: when a person loses money, they still have a chance to start over, but when a person loses their mindset, they lose everything. The greatest asset a person has is not the amount of money in their bank account, but how they think when their bank account is almost empty. So do not wait until life pushes you into a corner before you learn to think bigger. Start strengthening your mindset today, because once your thinking changes, the way you see the world changes, and when the way you see the world changes, money, opportunities, and relationships will eventually begin to change as well.